Why Yorkshire and Derbyshire? What makes those regions so appealing for property investors, in your opinion, James?
So I describe where we are in Yorkshire and Derbyshire. I describe it as the Goldilocks Zone. And I have done for, a couple of years now. And I talk to people about this Goldilocks Zone. Well, what is that? Well, for people who don't know, Yorkshire and Derbyshire is kind of halfway up the country of England. But when I describe it, a bit like the fairy tale of the three bears, whereby it's just right. We have in England, especially in the southern counties of England and London, we have very, very high property prices. Average UK property price, at the time of this recording, is about 292,000. But you're going to pay significantly more than that on the south coast. You're going to pay significantly more than that in East Anglia, Buckinghamshire, Hertfordshire, and London is on another scale completely. Why does that matter? Well, the reality is if you are an investor and you are looking to purchase property in the southern areas of the UK, you are going to have to part with a lot more cash. You're going to have to part with a lot more capital in order to procure and gain those kind of properties. And the rental income that you can then charge in comparison to the amount of money that you have had to part to purchase those properties means that your yields and your return on investments are lower, more like in the single digits and less than 5 in some cases. Now, at the other end of this, that's too hot. So the south of England is too hot. Now, the other end of the spectrum is somewhere like the northeast of England, where you can, famously buy a house for £10,000. I mean, I don't know what the street is like and whether you would want to live there yourself, but property prices in the northeast of England are significantly cheaper. However, that is reflected in rents. Now, there is a case in my eyes, the problem with that is that if your rental income is so small that it might only be £100 net profit a month, that it only takes one maintenance issue or one misdemeanor to, in essence, wipe out your yearly earnings. So yes, whilst the property is cheap, and it could be less than £50,000, the reality is you can only charge a few £100s a month because that is the going rate for the rent in that area. But if the boiler packs up, or if you have a leak, or if you need to call out a plumber, or if you need to call trades in, your yearly income has vanished. And capital appreciation, is not going to be of the same kind of scale. So I describe the northeast as too cold, and I don't mean necessarily meteorologically just, okay? I do describe it as that. And so what we have here in the middle is Derbyshire and Yorkshire, and I describe it as just right, in the sense that we have property prices, we have property here that you can purchase that is of what I describe as an acceptable amount of money. In other words, you can buy a 3-bed house here for 125, 130, 140, 150,000 pounds. You can then rent that property out for 700, 800, 900 pounds a month, and it provides you with significant enough yield and a significant enough return on your investment that it makes sense. Okay, and that's why I call this a Goldilocks zone. It's not too hot like the south. It's not too cold like the northeast. It's just right.